Hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of Sustainable World. We will continue to talk about the SDGs and their targets, just like the previous episodes. So today, we will talk about the SDGs number 10, 11, 12, and 13. So let's start off with the SDG number 10, which is Reduced Inequalities. It aims to reduce inequality within among countries and it has 10 targets. Target number 1. Progressively achieve and sustain income growth of bottom 40% of the population at a rate higher than the national average. Target number 2. Empower and promote the social, economic, and political inclusion of all irrespective of age, sex, disability, race, ethnicity, and religion, or economic or other status. Target number 3. Ensure equal opportunity and reduce inequalities of outcome, including by eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices, and promoting appropriate legislation, policies, and action in this regard. Target number 4. Adopt policies, especially fiscal, wage, and social protection policies, and progressively achieve greater equality. Target number 5. Improve the regulation and monitoring of global financial markets and institutions and strengthen the implementation of such regulations. Target number 6. Ensure enhanced representation and voice of developing countries in decision-making in global international economic and financial institutions, in order to deliver more effective and accountable and legitimate institutions. Target number 7. Facilitate orderly, safe, regular, and responsible migration and mobility for people, including through the implementation of planned and well-managed migration policies. Target number 8. Implement the principle of special and differential treatment for developing countries, in particular least developed countries, in accordance with the World Trade Organization agreements. Target number 9. Encourage official development assistance and financial flows, including foreign direct investment, to states where the need is the greatest, in particular least developed countries, African countries, small island developing states, and landlocked developing countries, in accordance with their national plans and programs. Target number 10. Reduce than less than 3% the transaction costs of migration remittance and eliminate remittance corridors with costs higher than 5%. We're all trying to achieve equality, whether for individuals or communities and countries, and that's what this goal is about, as the SDG calls for reducing inequalities in income as well as those based on age, disability, race, ethnicity, religion, or economic or other status. The next SDG is the SDG number 11, which is Sustainable Cities and Communities. It aims to make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable, and it has 10 targets. Target number 1. Ensure access for all to adequate, safe, and affordable housing and basic services and upgrade slums. Target number 2. Provide access to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport systems, improving road safety, notably by expanding public transport, with a special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situations, women, children, people with disabilities, and older people. Target number 3. Enhance inclusive and sustainable urbanization and capacity for participatory, integrated, and sustainable human settlement planning and management in all countries. Target number 4. Strengthen efforts to protect and safeguard the world's culture and natural heritage. Target number 5. Significantly reduce the number of deaths and the number of people affected, and substantially decrease the direct economic losses relative to global gross domestic product caused by disasters, including water-related disasters, with the focus on protecting the poor and people in vulnerable situations. Target number 6. Reduce the adverse per capita environmental impact of cities, including by paying special attention to air quality and municipal and other waste management. Target number 7. Provide universal access to safe, inclusive, and accessible green and public spaces, in particular for women and children, older people, and people with disabilities. Target number 8. Support positive economic, social, and environmental links between urban, peri-urban, and rural areas by strengthening the national and regional development planning. Target number 9. Substantially increase the number of cities and human settlements adopting and implementing integrated policies and plans toward inclusion, resource efficiency, migration, and adaptation to climate change, resilience to disasters. Develop and implement in line with the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. Target number 10. Support least developed countries, including through financial and technical assistance in building sustainable and resilience building, utilizing local materials. Target number 12. Responsible consumption and production. It aims to ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns, and it has 11 targets. Target number 1. Implement the 10-year framework of programs on sustainable consumption and production patterns, all countries taking action, with developed countries taking the lead, taking into account the development and capabilities of developing countries. Target number 2. Achieve the sustainable management and efficient use of natural resources. Target number 3. Have per capita global food waste at the retail and consumer levels, and reduce food losing along production and supply chains, including post-harvest losses. Target number 4. Achieve the environmentally sound management of chemicals and all wastes through their life cycle in accordance with the agreed international frameworks, and significantly reduce the release to air, water, and soil in order to minimize their adverse impact on human health and the environment. Target number 5. Substantially reduce waste generation through prevention, reduction, recycling, and reuse. Target number 6. Encourage companies, especially large and transnational companies, to adopt sustainable practices and to integrate sustainability information into their reporting cycle. Target number 7. Promote public procurement practices that are sustainable in accordance with the national policies and priorities. Target number 8. Ensure that people everywhere have the relevant information and awareness for sustainable development and lifestyles in harmony with the nature. Target number 9. Support developing countries to strengthen their significant and technological capacity to move towards more sustainable patterns of consumption and production. Target number 10. Develop and implement tools to monitor sustainable development impacts for sustainable tourism that creates jobs and promotes local culture and products. Target number 11. Rationalize inefficient fossil fuel subsidies that encourage wasteful consumption by removing market distortions in accordance with national circumstances, including by restructuring taxation and phasing out those harmful subsidies, where they exist, to reflect their environment impacts, taking fully into account the specific needs and conditions of developing countries and minimizing the possible adverse impact on their development in a manner that protects the poor and the affected communities. The next SDG is climate action. It aims to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. It has 5 targets. Target number 1. Strengthen resilience and adaptive capacity to climate-related hazard and natural disasters in all countries. Target number 2. Integrate climate change measures into national policies, strategies, and planning. Target number 3. Improve education, awareness raising, and human and institutional capacity on climate change, mitigation and adaptation impact, reduction, and early warning. Target number 4. Implement the commitment undertaken by developed countries parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change to a goal of mobilizing jointly $100 billion annually. By 2022, form all sources to address the needs of developing countries in the context of meaningful mitigation actions and transparency. On implementation and fully operationalize the Green Climate Fund through its capitalization as soon as possible. Target number 5. promote mechanisms for raising capacity for effective climate change-related planning and management in least developed countries and small island developing states, including focusing on women, youth, and local marginalized communities. There are a lot of researches, events, and conferences that are held to help end global warming and taking actual steps towards climate actions, like the UN Climate Change Conference COP27 concluded on 20 November in Egypt, with a decision to establish and operationalize a fund to compensate vulnerable nations for loss and damage from climate-included disasters. The UN Secretary welcomed the decision, calling it an important step towards justice. That conference viewed a lot of amazing projects that will help achieve the climate actions. That's it for today. Stay tuned for the next episodes. Thank you for listening. Bye!